Alec here with Get Bagpipe Ready, Unchained Melody Lesson 3. So excited you're joining me. This is a great tune, sounds so good on the pipe. So happy I got requests for this tune. And Lesson 3, that starts out very similar to Lesson 1 actually. So if you missed Lesson 1, you might want to check that out. In the link below, I got all the lessons in that link, so you can check it out there. Because we're starting out with that D throw or D-E transitioning if you're not doing the D throws. So very similar to Lesson 1. So we have 1 and then 2 Ds. So there's 1 D, E, second D. After that second D, this is where things get different. So that's the different part that we're going to walk through here. So after that second D, we're going to drop down. We'll talk about grace notes in a moment, but we'll drop down just note transitions here to low A, D to low A. We've done that transition before. All the bottom hand fingers drop down except that pinky finger lifts up. So we hit that low A, and as you just heard, then we drop down the pinky finger to low G, and then we lift up the pinky finger to low A. So that's the note transition. Here it is once more. So we have 2 super long low A's. Each low A gets a full 4 beats. There's only 1 note in the entire bar of music. So each low A gets 4 full beats, but we have to separate those 2 low A's with something. The easiest option is a simple low G strike with that pinky finger. Just tap it down once. And I'll give you a couple trickier options in a moment, including the Burl. But before we do that, talking about timing, we're already talking about these low A's, each getting 4 beats or 4 foot taps. What's happening in that third bar? So that third bar, the D gets 3. D, 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 A, G, A, Burl. So that's kind of the timing. So the D gets 3 beats. And then we have 2 notes equally in length with each other happening in 1 beat. So they each get half a beat. So if you're keeping track at home, the D gets 3 downbeats. You can make 3 ticks above that D. The low A gets 1 downbeat. The low G gets no downbeats because it happens on the upbeat. Low A, G, and then we're back to A, the start of the third bar. And then there's the Burl. So let's talk about embellishments. We have a couple grace notes. D down to low A, we have to get there with a G grace note. So I got 3 grace notes in a row here. I'll give them all to you. If you want to just do 1 or 2 out of the 3, that's okay too. I just made up this sheet music. So if you like it, play all 3. If you don't play them, or just play 1 or 2 of them. But here's all 3 options for you in terms of all 3 grace notes. D down to low A. First lift that G grace note finger of the top hand, get into low A position, then that top finger comes down. And then from that low A, we have to get down to low G, but first lift that D grace note finger, then drop the pinky D grace note finger comes down. And then I have an E grace note. So if you're like, Alec, why did you use 3 different grace notes? So these 3 different grace notes make up the triplet. So if you've done any triplet exercises, then it might be a little bit more natural for your fingers. If not, it might feel just a little bit weird to do all these different grace notes. But if you want to challenge yourself, go right ahead. If it's too much of a brain buster right now, just pick pick one or two of those grace notes to do, or you could make them all G grace notes if you want. But yeah, here's the options of what I think sounds the best if you really want to dress things up. So we have our final grace note is an E grace note, as I was hinting at. So low G up to A, but our ring finger of our top hand has to lift for that E grace note. Pinky finger comes up, ring finger comes down. And that Burl, so I already gave you the option of the single tap. You could also do a double tap. So there's like three just in a row. I did the double tap, double tap. The other option is to do the full Burl. So in this case, our pinky finger is going to slide down across the hole and then slide up across the hole. So it swipes over the hole once, swipes over the hole twice. It can be a little quicker if you kind of rotate, almost like you're opening a doorknob. Your whole forearm kind of rotates. It can be quicker if your pinky finger almost bends a little bit on the way up, so it can even cover that hole even faster, so it bends a little bit on the way up. It might be quicker if you get a little forehead grease or behind the ear grease to help that pinky slide. So there's all my Burl tricks for you. So there's the Burl, and let's just play through this line once more here. And I am going to do lesson 4 as well as a free lesson. So you can always join me in lesson 4. And if you want to get all the lesson link, all together, it's in that link below as well as the sheet music. So here's the full second line for you.